Hello everyone, Arslan here, back with another video, and I hope so all of you watched the Apple WWDC 2023 event last night. It is one of the most awaited events usually in a year, at least for me, because usually Apple usually announces some of their hardware and some of the upcoming enhancements to the software before they actually went on to announce iPhones down the road in September, October, November of the month. So the main highlights, or you can say the limelight of the event for last night, was Apple Vision Pro, which is a new spatial computing era that Apple has started. It is safe to say that it's not that Apple is starting it for the first time. There are a lot of companies that have been doing it. Of course, HTC Vive and even Pico, and there are some other companies who have been doing these headsets, VR headsets, AR headsets. But the main thing, I think, it's about the implementation of it. So usually I love that part where Apple usually takes some time to adopt to any new technology. They mature the technology enough internally before they make it public and before they come with it to market with an actual product. So in this case, of course, Apple have actually knocked it out of the park with the launch of the Apple Vision, the way they implement it, the way it works coherently with the rest of the Apple ecosystem. So it's amazing. In today's episode, let's go and deep dive a bit into it. So let's get on with it. Let's start off with Apple MacBook Air 15. So Apple MacBook Air 15, it's kind of a new, it wasn't an expected product that Apple might be launching, but somehow Apple decided to launch this new product. What I think why Apple decided to launch this, they might have an oversupply of M2 chips, so they decided that let's go ahead and put it into an existing product and kind of market it as a new product, which of course at the end Apple will be able to use all those things to sell new product, plus they kind of exhaust their existing inventory of M2 chips. And I think that's because soon Apple is going to be moving towards the M3 chips. So in this specific you can say the MacBook Air 15, they implemented the M2. So the screen size has been changed now. So previously it was smaller, now it's 15.3-inch liquid retina display. Of course, as it goes with all of the MacBook Airs, usually it's a fanless design. And what Apple claims that the new screen has been enhanced. It's the most expensive screen, as they called it during the keynote event. So it can give up to 500 nits of brightness. It has about, with respect to battery life, of course, for a 15-inch laptop, they are claiming it to have about 18 hours of battery life. So that's something to, Apple MacBooks in general have a very good life, but battery life. So, but in this specific thing, of course, with such a light, about it weighs about 2 kgs, less than 2 kgs, and you can have an 18 hours of battery life, a portable machine, and of course, Apple keyboards has always been great. It comes with the new MagSafe, so it's not charged by any USB-C ports. It's charged by the new MagSafe. Apart from that, you can upgrade all your MacBook Air up to 24 GB of memory and up to 2 terabytes of storage. They have also given the MacBook Air extra speaker system. There are 6 speaker systems into it now, and all these to create that spatial sound effects around you. The camera is a full HD 1080p camera, and it's available with the M2 chip, which can have up to 8 cores of CPU and 10 cores of GPU. So of course you are expecting, you can expect and you should be getting a good performance out of it. But anyway, when it goes to MacBook Air in general, because they have a silent fanless design, so when you put some heavy workload into it, of course there will be some kind of throttling that's going to happen. But for an average user, I don't think that's gonna be a problem. The next product announced by Apple is Apple Mac Studio. So the previous Mac Studio had excellent performance anyways. So in the current Mac Studio, they have upgraded extra chips. So previously it used to come with the M2 Max CPUs. Now it comes with the M2 Ultra CPUs. So this M2 Ultra has almost double everything up. So M2 Max has already been, it's a beast of a chip, but with M2 Ultra they have brought it to a new level, which for a normal consumer, a day-to-day user for a computer, it's really hard to even comprehend that level of performance available in a chipset. So they have enhanced the M2 Max to M2 Ultra. They're going to be offering into two different chipsets. So it's not that they're replacing it, they are offering this with two different chipsets. So previously it used to have that M1 Max, so now it's M2 Max, and the extra one comes as M2 Ultra. So the M2 Ultra, they have increased the cores to 24 cores. The GPU has increased from 38 cores to 76 cores, and the unified memory, which is supported by these chipsets, it goes to a massive 192 gigabyte, and the bandwidth that this chipset can support is about 800 gigabyte per second. That's, to put it into perspective, I think for any kind of workload, any kind of workflow that you can throw it at it, as of this moment, I believe this chipset can handle it. So with respect to overall performance of this chipset, they are kind of claiming it that it's 20% faster compared to the last one, and 30% faster with respect to GPUs. It can support up to 6 Pro XDR displays. Those Pro XDR displays are insane resolution, and this the chipsets within it can support all that. It can encode and decode ProRes, all these ProRes videos concurrently, and then it is built on 5 nanometer technology. So actually M2 Ultra, if you to explain it into a layman term, it's the same M2 Pro chipset, which kind of fused together with an ultra fusion architecture, which Apple calls it. So two M2 Pro chipsets infused together to make this M2 Ultra. So great stuff, and I believe it's already available right now, but of course, when it comes to Malaysian market, it's going to take some time for this product to become available. Moving on, the next announcement was Apple Mac Pro. This has been actually waiting for some kind of enhancement for a while now. So this specific Mac Pro right now is the first, you can say, Intel's replacement for Intel, and this is the first Apple's own M2 Mac Pro. So this especially when it comes to Mac Pros, you expect it to be the highest level of performance which any machine can give you. So in this specific model right now, which Apple has announced last night, it comes with the M2 Ultra chipset as well. The enhancements to it is, compare it to the Mac Studio, because this has a much wider and bigger form factor. There is a lot of space within it for the extra modules. So I think the main amazing thing with the new Mac Pros is, of course, the M2 Ultra chipset is there, which can go up to 76 cores GPUs and 7x performance when you compare it to the previous Intel based Mac Pros. But beside all that, even the level of performance that was being given out by Intel Mac Pros, that was like horrendous amount of performance out there. But to put it into perspective, it's 7x faster than that. And then apart from that, the extra enhancement that Apple has done into it, they are giving about 6 PCI Gen 4 slots into it, which you can use for any of the PCI available cards. You can install your own audio cards. You can install your own graphics card itself. So there are 6 PCI Express Gen 4 slots. So any of the new generation graphics card, if you need it for any specific purpose, you can install up to 6 of those there. And it has 8 Thunderbolt 4 ports, which you can use to connect up to 6 Pro XDR displays. That's a totally different discussion. How expensive is the Pro XDR? But to afford Pro XDR display, that's a different level of discussion. And to even afford Mac Pro itself, it's a different thing as well. So now you jumble these two things together. I can let you do the math by yourself. But an additional thing that they have done for this Mac Pros, now they have started to offer this in a tower beside the tower which is already there. So now they have started to offer this in a non-tower form as well, where you can kind of lay it down on your table, but to put it simply into that, it still looks like a cheese grater. Let's go into the final hardware product that Apple announced. So the last final, and as I mentioned, the most limelight of that event was Apple Vision Pro. So let's go a bit more into the details of it and what actually is it. So Apple Vision Pro is kind of Apple's take on this VR headset. So they, as Apple usually goes, they will always call everything an era, because before Apple hasn't done something, the things doesn't become mainstream. So in this specific part, when they announced a VR headset, they know that they are actually starting an era of this spatial computing out there. And it's, of course, there has been more VR headsets out there, but the main thing is the seamless blending of the digital content with your physical space, because it's most of the time there's a screen inside your VR headsets which you are watching through. So in this has some cameras built in on the outside of it, and it has LiDAR sensors, it has IR sensors, it has cameras up and down all around it, which kind of makes sure that you get engaged with the outer world as well. It blends these two worlds together. So if you are watching, there was a great demo that they were doing, the demo video that they were showing. Like if you are watching something and there is no one around you, it kind of plays an animation out there on the glasses itself to show that you are busy somewhere, and the other people, you might not be able to see the people around you. But the moment someone actually comes near you, it dissolves that animation and show you those people through your vision itself. So that's an amazing blend of it. The way Apple designed it to make it much more comfortable and, as I say all the time, coherent with the rest of Apple ecosystem. The application, it really it links everything, whatever is updated on your iPhones, iPad, it just shows up there. You have a calendar invite there, and I think the main part of that will be having all this the communication, your meetings, your iMessages, and even your FaceTime calls with this kind of technology is going to be amazing. Of course, you need to sell a kidney to buy it, but or maybe two as well, because the launching price that they announced as well is around $3,500, which if you convert into Malaysian ringgit for a Malaysian consumer perspective can go up to about 16,000. So but of course the good thing is they kind of calling it as environment. So when you wear those glasses, they kind of create an environment around you, and you can they have given it a dial like how we have on our Apple Watches. So with those dials, you can extend that environment to make it bigger, to fit more things, to kind of to to become a part of that environment itself. So if you are watching a movie, you are watching an Apple TV series, Apple TV movies, there you can create kind of an environment which mimics a cinema, a theater for you. So you can, only you can watch the thing there, and you can be fully immersed into that kind of technology. And when it comes to gaming, of course, Apple has been, launching their Apple Arcade for some time now. There has been launching new games, and they've been partnering up with some of the gaming studios to launch most immersive gaming as well. And this Vision Pro with those gaming partners will bring the gaming to a new level. Of course, like if you talk about all this VR gaming, PlayStation have done it previously, and even for the PlayStation itself, PlayStation VR, this is the second generation of PlayStation VR. But definitely, I believe the moment Apple does it, it's gonna be different. Something that that triggered me during that specific event itself, the way they were showing, they have cameras built in where the kids are playing, and the father is wearing that headset and looking at them through that, and then he can actually just with the press of a or slide of a tap on the side, he can take the picture of the moment. And the more thing is about it, I have my kids as well, so I don't think that that's the right way to portray that part, because if I'm around my kids, I would rather spend that time with them, so instead of my kids playing there and I wear a headset and look at them through that glasses itself, and then take a photo of them and then watch all those moments through those glasses, rather than being in that moment and spending that time with them. But yeah, I think overall, I believe this is going to be a breakthrough in the technology. Reason being, to give an example of it, whenever Apple does something, other companies, they kind of start to do copying. I won't say copy, or maybe you can say inspire. So they get inspired by Apple, and they start to do this this part where they start to come up with the similar technologies to mimic Apple's approach towards it. So which in my perspective, it can be a good thing and bad thing as well, because when Apple makes something, people or other companies start to mimic that, they make it, and the technology start to become cheaper. So I won't say the way Apple presented the item itself is going to be groundbreaking in the first version of itself as well, but it's going to be a start. This has been a niche market for some time, like the AR, VR, and this market has been a quite selected market, and only selected people go and buy this specific thing. But when Apple does it, then it becomes a mainstream market. People start to buy those things, and those things become more and more part of our life. So probably this launching of this a specific product, the Apple Vision Pro, is gonna make this whole AR VR thing a mainstream for rest of the companies as well. Like, I have a prediction that Apple might be thinking of launching a foldable iPhone itself. Now, not to say that, of course, we know that everyone knows that foldable phones has been around for a while, and Samsung has been pioneering it for a good amount of time as well. Even Huawei has launched some, and Oppo has launched some fold phones as well, and even flip phones, like Motorola started with the flip phones as well. But it has been again a very niche market, which has been sitting with the people who really use those things for the specific use cases. But when it comes to Apple, the moment Apple announces that foldable phone is going to become a mainstream, and people are going to be crazy about those foldable phones, which is in one thing I will say, fine, it's good enough. As long as people adopt to new technologies, they buy new things, they explore new things, that's good for the market. But I don't want to take anything away from Samsung, because they have kind of worked hard on maturing this thing. They have been working, this is their fourth generation. They have Samsung Fold 4 now, which is like fourth generation of their foldable phones, and probably very soon they're gonna have a Fold 5. So but with all those things, I'm just optimistic that when Apple launches these things, probably it's gonna make the technology much more coherent and much more cheaper for the mass consumers as well, because how other companies start to adopt those technologies as well. And I hope that you can just stay tuned, and if you liked my video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and like this video as well. Feel free to comment if you want me to make any enhancement. If I made any mistakes, please feel free to correct me, and I'll be more than happy to interact with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good day.